Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Empowered in Health. I'm so excited you're here, as always, to talk about all things wellness. I want to dive in today to share a little bit of my heart around the training that I dove into personally last week, but also talk a little bit more about really the person that I feel like I should be speaking to and serving most. So I have been sharing a little bit about how I've been in a business mentorship this year, and it has been mind-blowing for me so far. Just completely mind-blowing, the level of intentionality, clarity, love, support, encouragement, empowering energy. It's just been this incredible, powerful place for me personally as I really figure out how do I want to continue on my entrepreneurial journey. Up until this point, I have been working in the network marketing space or the direct sales space, and I've enjoyed that and have learned plenty about business, plenty about building a business in some capacity. The difference for me has been really trying to figure out, what do I want to uniquely do now, right? What do I want to do that's Aaron Trier? And what is that coach offering going to look like? What is that support going to look like? What kind of products am I going to be strategically partnering with or creating? All of these things, literally, that are coming out of how I feel called to serve. That is a scary, overwhelming place to be, but it's also really an exciting time in the same capacity, right? So today I want to talk a little bit about this concept of the overwhelmed mom and how I really feel like as I've been diving deeper on the female that I'm speaking to, the person that I feel most called to serve, so much of what I've learned on my own inside out health and wellness journey, it's been inside motherhood, right? It's been along my motherhood journey. And so much of that has come from this idea of, I feel so overwhelmed. I have all these different needs I'm managing. I have all this information I'm trying to understand. I have my family and my kids, my marriage, my passions, right? What light me up, my ambition I'm trying to manage. There's just been all these different pieces to the puzzle that have left me feeling personally extremely overwhelmed. And when I unpack most of the clients and the community that I have built up to this point, most of the people that I've spoken to, they can relate to this level of overwhelm, right? This level of, I feel so overwhelmed, but I'm not even sure why, right? That is an interesting and hard place to be. And I want to kind of unpack that today and talk about a couple tips that I want to give to this specific mom that maybe relates to feeling really overwhelmed. Feeling really overwhelmed in your health journey, feeling really overwhelmed in your day-to-day life with what you're managing with your family, feeling really overwhelmed by the idea of, how do I even take care of myself? How do I even identify what my needs are, right? This idea of overwhelm. So let's talk about focusing in on this concept of rejuvenating your health, right? Rejuvenating you, rejuvenating what it is that you individually and uniquely need in order to feel your best from the inside out. I think as moms especially, we just really get into this place of not paying attention to our own personal needs. We get out of the headspace of remembering what lights us up, what fills our cup, what we're passionate about, what our hobbies really are, what we feel ambitious about, right? What we feel passionate about doing, how we want to maybe create something beyond what we're already doing in our day-to-day life. We just lose sight of that as we step into motherhood and as we have kids and other people that we're managing and other people that we're responsible for and taking care of. That's the beauty of motherhood, right? That's a blessing in the journey. My role as a coach is to be someone that reminds the mom, right? Reminds you of the importance of taking a pause and stepping back and saying, okay, but what do I need to kind of rejuvenate me again? What do I need in order to kind of refill the energy that I maybe have lost, or the health that I feel like I haven't been able to maintain, or the creative outlets that I haven't been able to spend time on, right? Whatever that is that really fills you, how are we getting back to a place of really rejuvenating you so you can step into your day-to-day and just feel better from the inside out? I'm a firm believer, especially as a very passionate mental health advocate, that our health starts from the inside out, right? Meaning we have to be paying attention to the mental and emotional components to how we feel. So much of that comes from stepping back and asking ourselves, like, what do we really truly need in our day-to-day, and what does that feel like? So if I was going to look at the overwhelmed mom and I was going to coach you through this concept of taking care of yourself again, what would that look like? How do we get back to a place of really rejuvenating you, rejuvenating your health, rejuvenating how you feel in your life? Here are the three things that I would kind of coach you through and encourage you to think about, okay? The first is taking a pause out of your day-to-day and asking yourself, what do you feel like you really need, right? What is it that you need right now in your life? Because every season is going to change, right? So when our kids are little, what we need might be different from when our kids are a little bit older, or when our kids are old and moved out of the house, right? Like there's a whole different idea of what we may personally need. And it takes this level of getting into this reflective mode and saying, okay, what do I really need right now in my motherhood journey, in the place I'm at, right? What do I really, truly need? And giving yourself permission to say that's going to look different, right? For me, if I unpack my seasons of motherhood and what I've really needed along the way, in certain seasons, it was really hard fitness regimens. In other seasons, it was more rest and sleep, right? In other seasons, it was getting a better understanding and more support and resources around how do I fuel my body for energy? How do I get to a place of stabilizing my blood sugar and making sure that I'm not getting into these really highs and low lows related to just my mood every day, right? Like what were the habits that I needed to lean into in order to help myself feel in that more peaceful and stabilized place, right? In other seasons, it's been more connection, right? I have needed to find a way and make the time to connect more with other women in my community, with other like-minded women who are also building a business, with people who are also passionate about mental health, with other women that are committed to, learning new things for their kids, for their families, whatever, right? Like connection has been another big thing that I've had to dig into personally, right? So that's the first thing, like thinking about what it is that you need, right? Asking yourself, what do you need? Okay. The second piece, after you kind of unpack the first question, is to think about how can you enlist more support and resources? And this can be a hard one for moms. It's been a hard one for me. I reached points in my motherhood journey where I felt like I was supposed to do everything. I was supposed to handle it all. I was a stay-at-home mom. That was what our family decided was going to be the best fit for us, right? I was once working in corporate, and once our family started, we decided that the best fit for us was going to be me stay home, right? Well, I had to figure out this whole new concept, not only of what I needed, but how to get out of my own head and ask for help and resources, right? Realizing that I couldn't do it all on my own. I wasn't meant to do it all on my own. That wasn't in my job description, even though I felt like I needed to have it be that way. And it has taken me a lot along my journey of learning and unlearning and getting comfortable with saying, you know what? I don't have the capacity for this, right? I need to enlist support here. I need to enlist more resources here. I need to delegate here. And that has been a hard process. And it can be a hard process and feel very overwhelming. And I want you to know, if you are an overwhelmed mom who is trying to get to this place of really understanding what you need in order to feel your best from the inside out, understand that there's likely going to be this uncomfortable process of saying, I need more help, right? I need more resources. I need to delegate. I need to, figure out where people can step in and be a resource and a support to me because I deserve it, right? Putting yourself in that headspace of remembering that you deserve that same level of support that so many other people have in their day-to-day life, right? So for me personally, some of the support and resources that I pulled in my life have been therapy, right? Making sure that I'm keeping my mental and emotional health in a great place by going to a consistent therapist and talking through the weight of what I've been feeling and making sure that I have that in a place that feels good. Because again, like I shared, our health from the inside out starts with the mental and emotional component. We have to be paying attention to that. It's a huge piece of the puzzle. So therapy has been a big one. I have someone come and help clean our home because I can't keep up with the organizing and the laundry and the dishes and the basic picking up and all the cleaning. Like it all just feels like way too much for me to personally manage. So I do have someone come and help clean our home 2 times a month, which has been an incredible blessing for me and just something that I've been able to take off our plate. Something that our family decided for us personally was worth it based on where we were budgeting and what really worked for our overall family budget, right? And these are big discussions, big things that you have to work through for your whole family. But, part of the conversation has always been, what else can I do for me, right? What else can I do that can actually help me show up in the best way possible for my family, for my kids, and also for myself, right? So enlisting help with cleaning our house. I've also enlisted different coaches to help me through the nutritional components of my own personal journey. I've also been diving into functional medicine doctors and more doctors to do more testing, to go deeper on root cause, to help me understand my hormone health, my gut health, and just my inside out wellness. Stuff that's kind of out of my personal scope of practice, right? Getting more resources and education around just those details and that information that I've wanted to learn for my own health, that I've been enlisting experts to help guide me through, right? So the other big thing is babysitters, right? Making sure that we're prioritizing time with, one kid or a couple kids and having babysitters or neighbors that we're leaning on or something like that to kind of juggle the kids and give us some more intentional time. Whether that's with me and my husband, or me out with friends, or my husband out with friends, or me out with the older kids, or vice versa, whatever. Like, we've enlisted, babysitters and people to come and help us juggle the load with our kids. So there's just a lot of different ways that we can think about how do we enlist help and resources. But again, sometimes it's hard to identify what resources and help you may need if you're not starting with figuring out what do you truly need in order to get to that place of feeling rejuvenated in your health and wellness again, okay? So again, number 1 was asking yourself, what is it that you need right now in this season? Number 2 is, how can I enlist more support or resources or help in order to get to those places of fulfilling the needs that I've kind of identified, okay? And number 3 is really thinking about, what are things that you can do that are very unique to you, right? So I want you to think about maybe a passion you had in the past or something that really lit your soul on fire from the inside out that is super unique to you, that you want to find a way to make more time to commit to, right? Maybe this is a creative outlet. Maybe this is getting outside more. Maybe this is, spending more time and resources and investing in time away with your girlfriends, with your husband, right? Maybe it's enlisting in going to retreats. Maybe it's you love to sew, you love to knit, you want to get back to something like that. Maybe you want to pour back into school in some way, right? Learn a new skill, get educated about something. I think, sometimes as moms, we forget the importance of making sure that we're also still growing ourselves as humans, as people. Who we are as people matters, right? What lights us up matters. And digging into that uniqueness of who we are matters. And that is one of the key pieces that is going to help you feel this rejuvenating of your health and this rejuvenation of feeling like, okay, I'm getting back to me alongside growing as a mom. That's not an easy thing to do because it takes this intentionality and kind of this mindset shift of remembering that pouring into you too matters, but it's such an important practice, right? Such an important practice. So I want you to think about those 3 things, right? What do you need? What resources and support do you maybe need to enlist in order to meet those needs? And what can you dive into that can help you feel like your unique self again, right? What creative outlet is it? What thing is it that lights you up? What passion is it that you have? What's something that you can do just for you? And that can be hard to really identify, but it's so incredibly important. So I hope and pray that this gave you kind of a little bit of encouragement today, a feeling of just being empowered on your health and wellness journey, right? I want you to know that as a busy, overwhelmed mom, first and foremost, you are not alone. Motherhood is a really overwhelming journey with so much going on all the time, but it's so important to remember that taking care of ourselves as humans and as women is an incredibly important piece to the overall puzzle of making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, that we're paying attention to our inside out health and wellness. And I'm hoping that these 3 little things that you can kind of pinpoint and lean into can help you get to this place of feeling rejuvenated again, right? Feeling really good about your day-to-day life as a mom, because you matter, your mental health matters, your wellness matters. And I want you to know how incredibly grateful I am for the opportunity to connect with you here, to talk about all things motherhood, mental wellness, hormone health, and all the things. It has been an incredible blessing in my life to connect with so many of you. And again, I hope and pray that this message empowered you in some way today. I'll see you in the next one.